The history.
The judicial system has an enormous history. It is used by various governments in the world. It got its greatest influence from the Spanish and American legal system. The Philippines judicial law started on June 11, 1901 by building courts in the Philippines. In the Philippines, the Supreme Court is the Judicial Branch. In 1895, the court system of the Philippines underwent massive changes, like increasing justices and eliminating the president of the country from determining cases. This new system established political system called Audiencia Territorial de Manila. This was then divided into two separate branches. The criminal law, which means Sala de lo Criminal, and the civil law, which means Sala de lo Civil, according to the Act 136, June 1901, giving the Supreme Court the judicial independence. The United States Congress recognized this act and ordained the Supreme Court as the highest judicial tribunal. Now is consisted of 15 members, 1 Chief Justice, and 14 justices.
The Supreme Court now consists of
Chief Justice Renato C. Corona with his associate justices, Justice Antonio T. Carpio, Justice Conchita Carpio Morales, Justice Presbitero J. Velasco Jr., Justice Antonio Eduardo P. Nachura, Justice Teresita Jane Leonardo de Castro, Justice Arturo D. Brion, Justice Diosdado M. Peralta,
jurisdiction and control over the courts of the land.
Hello there. I am going to discuss to you the duties of the judicial branch. First of all, what are the parts of the judicial branch? We have the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the land and implements laws and determines abuses by lower courts. For short, the Supreme Court is the one who implements our laws, mainly. And while the second one is the Court of Appeals, it is composed of 69 justices, headed by the presiding justice, and who is appointed by the President. Court of Appeals reviews civil and criminal cases. So if there are kidnappings or killings or carnappings, they are the one who is assigned to talk about it. The third one is the regional trial court. It is replaced by the former courts of first instance. There is a regional trial court for each region. That's why it's called regional. They review juvenile offenders, cases including juvenile offenders, domestic and marital problems, and cases between tenants and landowners. So if there's a problem with the landowners and the tenant, the regional trial court will review the case you will be facing. Fourth is the municipal trial court, which is replaced the former courts of the cities and municipalities. There is a municipal circuit trial court and has one judge. So the municipal trial court hears cases involving violation of municipal ordinances. This court, the municipal trial court, is the one who hears the cases within the municipal or the violators of the municipal ordinances. There is also the metropolitan trial court. It is set up in place like Metro Manila. There are 172 judges assigned to the courts of the National Capital Region or Metro Manila. There are several special courts. Aside from the regular courts, there are two special courts. The Court of Tax Appeals and the Sandigan Bayan. So the Court of Tax Appeals is composed of the presiding judge and two associate judges appointed by the President. They are the ones who are responsible of the taxes. And then the Sandigan Bayan is a special anti-graft court. So if you will file a graft and corruption case, you will file at the Sandigan Bayan. And also, the Tanod Bayan or the Ombudsman was previously created by presidential decree. It is the Tanod Bayan and his deputy serve for 7 years without reappointment. Individuals may write letters of complaint to the Tanod Bayan on substantiated cases of graft and corruption. So when you're filing a graft and corruption, you will file or send a letter to the Ombudsman. And that's the duties of each court in the judicial branch.
soon.